In this video, we're going to show you how to replace your brake rotors and pads. But before we start, there's a few things you'll need. Brake parts cleaner, gloves, new brake rotors and pads, a free rental caliper compression tool, and standard hand tools. Before we lift the car up, make sure your car is in park with the parking brake set. Then loosen the lug nuts on the wheels. Next, you're going to jack up the car. Consult your owner's manual for the proper jacking point. Remember to use jack stands to safely hold your car in place. Now, the wheels can be safely removed. First, we're going to remove the bolt securing the brake line. Next, we'll remove the two bolts securing the caliper to the caliper bracket. Now we can remove the caliper. Make sure to hold the caliper up so there's no tension on the brake line. We now have access to remove the old brake pads. Now we're going to remove the caliper bracket. There are two bolts holding this to the steering knuckle. Next, we're going to loosen these two Phillips screws and remove the brake rotor. Now let's take a look at our new brake pads. We've chosen the Wherever Platinum Professional pads. This includes a new assortment of brake hardware, grease to be used on various brake components, and of course, the pads themselves. And here's our new brake rotor. We're going to clean off the residual grease on the rotor with soap and water. Then, we're going to wipe it down with brake cleaner. Then, we're going to apply grease to the brake hardware. It can't hurt to also grease the brake caliper bracket where the brake pads will sit. Now we can start reinstalling. This is mostly the same process as removal, just in reverse. Make sure to follow your factory torque specifications when tightening down the bolts. Then put the new brake pads into place. Before reinstalling the caliper, remove the brake fluid reservoir cap and compress the caliper piston using the free rental tool available at Advance Auto. This will ensure that the caliper will fit over the new brake pads and rotors. And that's it. Now you know how to replace your brake pads and rotors yourself.
Think ahead. Think Advance.